Good evening, people. Good evening. Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, to say up front, this live stream is not for children. This is not for children. And if certain topics, such as SA, that's what I'm going to be discussing, um, do not do not watch this video. Okay, I'm going to say that up front. Yes, this is Spirit Journey, and today is Thursday, January 30th, 2025, and the time, let me check. Sorry, this time. Okay, it's 5 to 8. Yeah, I have my flashlight here just to give some light. Yeah, I like dim lighting, especially when I'm in deep thought. It just makes me relax a little more, be able to get my thoughts out. Yes, this is a very sensitive topic. Those people who are uh, SA'd or know people who are SA'd. Um, and the reason why I'm going to talk about this, I was watching, I have my monitor in front of me, and just trying to, I'm sorry, trying to position the light. So, um, okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm angry and sad, and I think I see patterns of behavior, different themes that just seem to keep on reoccurring. Um, yeah, I saw this first program. It's three things that I was just looking at. The first one is a video. It was a documentary, and it featured the country of Afghanistan. Then the second one was about uh, taking place in uh, this, how do you say? I'm sorry, just trying to get my thoughts together. The Lubavitch, a religious community, and they have a headquarters in Brooklyn, New York, and some essay that occurred in Brooklyn and in Australia, and of course, and in the Afghanistan, it's another faith-based system. And then finally, about the singer Justin Bieber, the singer, and allegations about the person who he is married to, and the possibilities of what they call a handler. And I said, I got to I got to talk about this. Um, I want to try to combine the uh, the three videos and try to find commonality that's in all of them. Um, well, one thing, all three, what they have in common, it focus on males. Sorry, men that are being young males that are being taken advantage of. So I'm going to first talk about the Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a country. Um, it's in Asia, I would say about what? Um, West Asia, Southwest Asia. Um, it's above India, around there. And they have a very, what they call a traditional. Well, I have to back up a little bit. None of these things I'm going to say is to attack good people who may belong to a faith-based system. Your faith is your business, but it's the behaviors of some people who may be a part of communities that are deeply rooted in faith-based systems. And when these faith-based systems fail to address issues in their community and get angry at the victim, that is a problem, rather than exposing and addressing the issue of the perpetrator. They let the perpetrator go and attack the victim. And it's that idea, that type of behavior that's making me want to discuss this because it makes me angry. I know what it's like to be victimized, and I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of people protecting culprits, people protecting deviants, perverse people. Rather than exposing them, it seems like they are always protected. It's like, why is this? Why do, it's like they read the same playbook and they do the same behaviors, these societies, and they just love to protect culprits and love to hate on victims. What causes us to be this way? That is a question that it would be very good to try to find out why. Part of me thinks that maybe all these people, the people that try to attack those who speak out against abuses, that maybe they were abused themselves and it's traumatizing them and it's easier for them to just shut them up, the other victims. But, if that's the case, you're better off just not saying anything and let the secret out so that other people can get helped and expose the evil, expose the perpetrator in hopes that they would be prosecuted and thrown in prison. I think there's a responsibility for society that they should speak out, at least protect the victim, at least take the victim away from the perpetrator to protect them, their interests. So yeah, they showed the Afghanistan thing, and it was shocking. I didn't know that type of thing happens over there. I mean, I heard about in North Africa many years ago. This person had vacation in Egypt, to be specific. Certain practices that are done, especially when tourists come, and the young men do certain things to attract, and it's all about money. And in Afghanistan, it was all about money. They have a name for it, this behavior, and it's a practice the practices to bring in your young, minors. And these adult men prey on they prefer the age from 11 to 13. And in this faith-based system that is practiced in Afghanistan, um, the men and women are separate. The women do not have rights, and so the wife cannot say no regarding certain behaviors. And the men, because it's a society that they can do whatever they want, and it doesn't matter if the man is married. And that's what really, really shocked me, that some of these men are married and with children, and they high up. Many of them are, they said, generals, people with businesses. And they said the more prestige or money this person has, it just seems like it attracts this behavior. And they go into poor neighborhoods, poor regions, and they go to the parent and say, we want to take your son. And they promise to give the family money, that they do like an apprenticeship. And these men SA these young boys. And it surprised me that you have some that what was touching was that these victims say, well, they have to support their family, their household. And I thought that dedication to help, these are minors, children, feeling responsible to, uh, it, it, it seemed to act as the adult or the parent. You don't hear of the parent doing that occupation. If they're going to have their child do it, it's just evil, in my opinion. If that adult wants to do extracurricular behavior to support their family, that is sad. But if they're adults and they choose that that type of industry, it's unfortunate. But to force your child, or to allow these parents, I'm pretty sure, knows what's going to happen. People talk. And if these children want to get away, if they change their mind, they 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 just decide they don't want to live this lifestyle, they are hunted down. And many of them, they are unalived. Yeah, they don't really use the term pimp, but that's what they are, these adult men. They they own these young boys, they own them, so they have no rights. And they pimp them out uh, in these gatherings. And these men actually fight over these young boys. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. And yes, money is exchanged. And it just, it's not just, they just can't get a wife. Some of them are married and they go hang out in these gatherings. They also teach these young boys, these minors, how to dance and sing and play music. And you saw adult men looking very lewd at these teens or preteens. What makes people do that? What makes a man, even if he has a wife, one of the perpetrators that was featured in the film, I mean, in the documentary, he's married with young children himself. He has many little businesses, and so it seems like deviants of such seem to always be rewarded financially. That the more money, the more perverse they become. Yes, hello, viewer. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, this is a sensitive topic about uh, people who are SA'd. And in particular, in this live stream, it would be males, young males that are SA'd, who are taken advantage of, who become ex, ex slaves. So that's what this is about. So if you're easily triggered or anything like that, it may not be a good idea for you to listen to this live stream, okay? Um, I think part of me, like watching it, I said, well, how could these people be like this if they have their faith-based system? And isn't it about holiness? So I guess the answer is no. And they might have their scriptures, but then they also have other things that seem to supersede scriptures. Those laws or customs that seem to supersede the holiness lifestyle. They make excuses, and they may think that because a person might be under a certain age, like there are some faith systems, people, that if you're under a certain age, that it's okay, they're saying. Shocking to me. And it seems like these two faith-based systems, even though on the surface they might seem different, but they have a lot in common. And it's like when you're a child, you're considered property. Wow. It's, sorry, little mosquito, sorry. Yeah, it is shocking to me. And then, yeah, this one child, well, now the person was a teen, and they decided they didn't want to do this anymore. And he left, but he was hunted down and murdered by these, they don't say the word pimp, but there's a pimp, the person that bought him in evil. So how could a, a religious community in Afghanistan allow murder? How could this happen? It's like they spent all this time in their faith system, pray who knows how many times a day. And they dress modest, but it doesn't transform their minds. Their minds are reprobate. And it seems like these faith systems can't seem to handle the inside of a person, their mind. It doesn't transform their mind. It just squashes down the natural desires, um, the biology of people. If we have a biology, and at certain times in our development, certain feelings are going to be activated. But they set up a system, and like in certain countries, like Afghanistan, there's restrictions. Why do they set up these restrictions? That seems to be like a pressure cooker waiting to explode. and it's not protecting anybody. And not just the faith-based system in Afghanistan, but in America, Australia, all over the planet. So the second video I saw, these young boys, like in this other faith system, at the age of 3, the boys are separated from females. And again, this is a type of grooming. This is a grooming. Sorry. They're grooming. Hey, hey, Tammy. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, this is little me. Yes, it's good to see you, Tammy. Yeah, and Lavender is home. We did, yes, I didn't bring, I know I did a video, was it 2 days ago? Yeah. How is my sweet? Yeah. Lavender's here. He's resting. He ate very well today, his breakfast and dinner. And yeah, I decided that yeah, a couple of days ago um I had arranged an appointment for Lavender. I felt panicked uh because how he was on Friday, this past Friday, when he was shaking and all that, and getting his symptoms again came back, and he was bleeding from his boom boom. Um, I felt very panicked, and I thought, hey, like a surgery. But when Tuesday came, um, I saw the head doctor, and well, in short, I initially set up the appointment for surgery, which was to be today. Yes, hello, viewer. Uh, but yesterday, just for the day before yesterday, I said no. I text the doctor and I said, I can't do this. It's not the right time. And it's not up to me to force my will upon Lavender to get the surgery. You know, I just don't want to impose. I don't feel I'm right to do that. Yeah, I didn't feel right about it. Friday, I felt one way. But by Tuesday, uh, it was a different, it's just something different came about. And with that, it didn't feel right anymore. Um, and I felt that it could really, there's no guarantee. In any surgery, it's no guarantee. And I almost felt like I was pushing my will that, well, he just kept going back and forth to the hospital and everything. Um, get the surgeries. Either he's going to make the surgery, make it through the surgery or not. And it's that aspect. I say, I have no right. At that time, at least how I'm feeling. No, I felt guilty about it, and I said no. He's not going to have it. So I notified the doctor. I said no, I can't go through with this for him. I don't feel right about it. Maybe on another day, but not today. I will not do it. So I'm glad I made that decision. So yeah, he seems okay. He ate very well. So I thank you, Tammy, and everybody else there who has been praying for Lavender. And yes, your prayers, your candle magic, metaphysical practices, whatever. I want my little boy here. I um, I want him in my life. He's a good little boy. The people here in Rwanda really love him, I think. Um, I'm not ready to let him go. But again, things might change. Things might change next week, anything could change, but it's just, I don't feel right about it for today. And I'm glad I said no. I'm very glad. So that's what's happening with Lavender. He's right next to me. Yeah. But right now, I am talking about a different topic, but thank you, Tammy, for asking about Little Lavi. Yeah, I'm talking about a very sensitive topic here about people who are SA'd, you know. Oh, I think Lavi's going to be around in your. All right. Let me put that one, read all the message from it. Okay, Tammy says, I think Lavender is going to be around and in your life for a long time. Oh, thank you for saying that, Tammy. Thank you. I need to hear that. I really want my little boy. And I would love my little dream. I would love for me and Lavi to go away on a little trip. I would love that. I would really. I mean, his blood though has to improve. He has, and if Tammy and anybody else who's watching who have a powerful prayer life, I'm solely much guaranteeing he will. Yeah, I want to be able to travel with Lavender at least once. I mean, yeah, I can travel with him here in Rwanda. I mean, we go nature walking here. Um, but I he's still delicate. His blood is delicate. His blood needs healing. His organs need healing. Um, yeah. Once his blood is strong, uh, not even a little anemic. I want him to have strong blood, Tammy. Strong, strong, strong. Then I know he could handle a trip. Yeah, yeah, that's a spell. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I would love to go to Morocco with my little boy, my little fur baby. Yeah. So anyway, again, thank you all for your prayers and everything. And I'm gonna go back to the topic that I was originally talking about. Um, Yeah, these things, these faith-based systems, I'm questioning and I'm seeing correlations and oops, sorry, trying to get the light, but I don't want to look spooky. How to do this? Uh, okay, so yeah, the batteries are getting lower. I need to start going on my nature walks. Like, yeah, 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 Tammy, it's so rejuvenating. I love it, these little nature walks. So, yeah, so I notice now this other faith-based system is very similar to the other one in Afghanistan. Yeah, the this other institution here, when the kids turn 3, when the boys turn 3, they separate them from the females, and that is asking for it. Asking for it when you force the separation, just like in these other societies. Um, they're into the scripture. Oh, thank you, Tammy. Consider the blood spell done. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I want my little boy, and it's my dream. I mean, I really want him to recover, uh, to be strong, uh, healthy, and if I can just go away with him just one, it's just, yeah, I would really like that. Oh, I would. And I want to go to a fire ceremony, a fire pit ceremony. And we're sitting by the campfire and just look up at the stars. Oh, I would love to do that, honey. That's mine. That's what I want to do. And eat fabulous food. Fabulous, fabulous food. Just Oh, I just want to do that at least once. Yeah, please, please, please pray for me, people. I would love to have that wish to go away with my little boy and be at a like a fire ceremony campfire, out in the stars, eating fabulous food. Yeah. So anyway, going back to the what I was talking about, these faith-based systems. Um, so the same thing seems to be happening with the faith-based system, even in the Western world. Boys are separated at the age of 3, and they, separated to only be with males. What happens when a young male gets older and certain biological urges start to develop because of biology? See, there's nothing wrong with biology. We are programmed certain ways, but when you place, cram an environment, and I think what's happening is that, um, people are naturally attracted to who they're attracted to. But when that, I think they're being imprinted. Like you get like a little ducky, when a little ducky is hatched, whoever who that little ducky sees is an imprint on them, and they are forever linked to that person, and that is because of biology. It's a program, and so even though the ducky is seeing a human, or even if it's another animal, that little ducky will follow them all their life. And so I think it's a similar type of phenomena with when the sexes are separated and they're only with that same sex person, and when biology, that signal is turned on, that person, because the opposite sex isn't there, but the same sex. And like that little ducky, they get imprinted. And it's like playing with fire. It is causing people to have an outlet. They don't know what else you're going to do. They're raised in this type of environment. So what are they going to do? You are asking for trouble, people. Why does it seem like these major faith-based systems seem to create a social environment that attracts puke? It is attracting a puke lifestyle and is endangering children in particular. Yeah, thank you for the thumbs up. They are asking for trouble, these systems, and they are not protecting the children. And how could the creator slash God, um, how could they, I'm sorry, just trying to get the light. How could they, oops, sorry. Yeah, I'm losing battery. How could this, how come this alleged creator, God, how come they don't seem to have the power to correct the urges in these people? Why is this God allowing a faith system that harms the little ones? Why does this creator or God create a biology in you, and then when puberty comes and knocks on your door, why does the creator permit the social environment that encourages such behavior? It's like you have a cookie jar filled with cookies, and everybody likes that flavor, and that's in that cookie jar. And then they put in the middle of the room the cookie jar, and then they don't feed the people anything for days. And then they let them loose in a room with the cookie jar. What do you think is going to happen to that cookie jar? Well, people are going to go and get those cookies, even though it's a sign that says, "Do not eat me," or "Forbidden to eat these cookies." So why you have it there? Why did you create an environment and not feed those people? And then you're going to put a cookie jar filled with cookies in there, and you think that no one's going to touch those cookies? It's asking for trouble. So you have these young kids in these Western countries of all different faiths, and they seem to all do the same thing, separate the sexes, and then they have adults in charge of these young kids. And because the child is taught to respect the elders, and something happens, they don't want to believe the child. The family of the victim blames the kid oftentimes. Why is this? Why are victims abused? Why are victims mistreated by their society, their community? It makes me very angry. Very, very angry. It's evil. Why is this evil permitted? Why is that when they discuss it, when they say, enough is enough, they're actually attacked, some of them. They are attacked from speaking out. No matter what the faith-based system, they all seem to work the same. All of it. It's like they read the same textbook, and they're horrible to the victim. And it would just be easier to just get the perpetrator and throw their ass in prison. But they don't do that. And they move them from location to location. Don't you notice that, the similarities? Like, well, I'm not going to even give the name of these faith-based systems, but they all have ties, these three main ones in particular. And it just seems like they do the same thing. They do the same thing. The Vatican, they have a faith-based system. And did you hear, like, recently with the Vatican, that the Pope, the head of this particular faith-based system, um, got angry? They, something with Trump. Oh, I forget exactly what it was. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, Mr. Pope, you are saying that someone did something wrong, or your disapproval, yet you fail to act and correct your borders within your denomination. There are a lot of people who are victim in that faith-based system, and the Vatican uh, just keeps on pushing these perpetrators to a different location to be abused again. Why are these faith-based systems, why were they established? Why? Ask yourself why. Um, I think some of these faith-based systems, that they were created to do just what it's doing. It is a faith that is, why have faith when you can have fact and knowledge? That's one of them. See, they want to keep you in the dark. Faith is about believing, having a belief about the darkness, those things that you don't know, that you don't see, but you're going to support it even though you don't have evidence. And then they're, they allow certain things to occur. Yeah, these, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. I believe that there are many faith-based systems that are really formulated by the same people. They may speak different languages. They may live in different countries, but the basis that these faith-based systems are formed is to trip you of your natural program. Yes, the human being has a natural program built inside of us that is, when it's in balance and using wisdom and living according to the natural rhythms of this planet, that's dictated also by climate and things like that, how you dress. You know, if you live in Alaska, you're going to dress one way. When you're in the tropics, you're going to dress another way. So some things are natural um, adjustment of one's physical appearance and lifestyle based on the environment. Being tuned with the environment that you're in, um, and let that dictate you. In my opinion, it's just my opinion. But these faith-based systems seem to force the hand, force you to wear a certain thing, even though the environment does not dictate that type of dress. And when natural biology is activated, they squash it. It's like creating a pressure cooker. You know what pressure cookers do? They build up, and if not released properly, it can explode. The world is exploding because an unnatural system was planted into humanity and causing problems and making people become uh, diseased in their minds. You're creating a sickness, these faith-based system that's been perpetrating humanity. Yeah, some years ago, 10 years ago, I was introduced to this information about what is these scriptures all about. And they had said that it's about what they call the Anunnaki. You have a foreign system that invaded planet Earth, and they created these faith-based systems, or else, if you don't follow it, or else. And I think these aliens slash beings from other worlds, that they are perverts, that they rely on this system, this faith system, to control humanity, to force us to become enslaved and enslaving our mind. And then they harvest. It is a harvest that they're into. They want to harvest your energy. They create ill at ease amongst humanity, and we become diseased in our mind, and it creates wars between nations, borders, between husband and wife, between siblings, every aspect, it diseases humanity. Here we have these faith based systems and things like even food. Why aren't they protecting your food source? Because they want to program the body to become more robotic, to be disconnected to the natural order of things. And by changing your biology, you're going to change the mind, the mindset, and causing a diseased society. And that if if you're so-called normal and living according to the natural order of things, you're considered a bad person. You're vilified. And they're slowly, slowly, slowly um, making people become synthetic. They put the GMOs in the food, and now they're hijacking the food. They're hijacking us, and it's altering the way that we even think. And in doing this deliberately, these faith-based countries that are hijacking humanity and want to um, corrupt the human anatomy, causing children to question what they are. When someone could tell you that you're something that you're not, that's a lot of power, and it's used to disrupt and to reprogram the person, and ultimately it's for their downfall. They don't want you to reproduce the natural way. They don't want you to live in a community. They want you um, detached, dependent on electronics for communication. No more real fellowship and going out and meeting your peers and walking through nature and things like that. They don't want you to do that. They don't want you connected. They don't want us connected to one another. They don't want you to love nature. They want you to become like a robot. They want you to not be able to express yourself um, how the Creator designed it. They don't want you to live in a natural community. And so they set up these faith-based systems that lock it. Some of these faith-based systems, you're stuck in that building for hours. And then you have to give your resources slash money, and they get richer and you get poorer. It doesn't make any uh, sense to me when a house of worship that is humongous and lavish, yet the congregation are starving and poor. You are supporting a man made system rather than supporting yourself. And this is by design. There's real people behind this faith based system are greedy people. They pocket the money and then they have the nerve to ask for more money. Why do rich people love to ask you for money? Wow, it gets me angry, all right. And then when the poor person who's supporting them needs help, do they get help? No. Again, it's a faith-based system that's designed to do exactly what it does, to control the community, to make them feel guilty when they need help. Um, but I can see a faith-based system that's based on, okay, we're going to have a place of worship, but we're going to live here. So you all put in, like these places of worship, people donate money for it. Well, why donate to a building? Shouldn't these communities support them, support each other, like support the community? Because when you put all your monies together, you're able to build, right? These churches are only there because you put in money for it and had it built with your money and your labor. You can do the same for yourself with a collective. Or get a group of you. Hey, let's put our resources together and let's buy land, build this building, and you come visit. People go have places of worship between themselves. You could set up your own community and have your fellowship. So if you're going to have a faith-based system, have a system that is in balance over your biology, over your design. We're all designed to do certain things. But again, the system, the natural order of things got hijacked, and they're just there to shame. They can set up rules, and then they seem to always bend the rules and change the rules. And it seems like, again, my watching these three programs, the common denominator, they are doing things, harming young people, exploiting their bodies, their labor. And when they were, when the child spoke out, or the parents of the child spoke out, they were attacked by their community. Why do we hide? Why do we abuse or harm the victim or the family of the victim? Why do we do that? What are you hiding? What are you hiding to do an evil like that? It just really goes to show you what they're made up of. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Start really thinking, what is the common denominator? They take your money and then they call you greedy when you don't give enough. They take your children and violate them and then blame you. Uh, some of them, they run away and the system hides them, and they do not get prosecuted many times. Why the cover up? Well, said these people in power seem to, who are these people in power? Are these the people that formed the faith-based system, descendants of them? Who in the right mind would want their own child to be violated? I don't think anyone in their right mind want their kid violated. So why are they belonging to institutions that do harm your children? This is something that's really that needs to be examined. It needs to be stopped. It needs to stop what's happened to these kids. Yeah, that I was talking about what they're doing in Afghanistan. They use little boys. It shocked me because it's a very religious place. And they said a custom. Under the Taliban banned it, but now the Taliban is kicked out. And lo and behold, the new system there in Afghanistan are promoting nastiness with little boys. And it shocked me. And I know they don't just do that in Afghanistan. Oh, they do it in Egypt. Oh, yes, they do. They turn out those young boys. And again, the same type of system of control over these regions. And I'm wondering, hey, you have to start really examining what all these faith-based systems seem to all have in common. And that is abuse against children, and many times the abuse against women. women in general. They are not allowed to talk, or what some faith systems say, oh, a woman cannot teach a man. Well, your first teacher in life in general is a female. Isn't it your mother that teaches you how to to take the breast so they can eat, um, how to hold a fork or knife, how to put on your little shoes, how to put your hat on, all these things. Who instructs? So here, the woman in general is the primary caregiver of that child. But even with that, somehow the imprint of that mother is not, it's overlooked. And many of these faith-based systems abuse that wife, that woman, that mom. It's horrible. It is all by design. And it's shocking to me. It's very shocking. How, but people, doesn't this, it doesn't make sense. You're in charge of that child primarily, but yet in many societies, that woman is a second-class citizen. And I don't think it's just because the biology differs between men and women to keep many women oppressed. What is it? What's really behind it? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You're in control of that kid. So what did you create? What did you allow to create in that child? Why did you allow that to happen? You women, moms, you have to put your foot down. If you don't want to live in a environment where some women are taken advantage of, so teach and expose your kids to maturity and development, you know, of these women, development in education and how to manage a home, how to make house repairs, all these things to empower her. But it seems to not be done. So you have to think. Well, I think it's all by design. Everything has been set up by design to do just what it's doing, taking away your rights slowly but surely. Um, yeah, it's very unsettling. You want to believe in the faith-based system, right? It sounds pretty, but it's not real anymore. It's why is God, if there's a God, why does God allow all these things happening? So how could this God save you? And why would a God program your body to behave a certain way, and then when you're um, doing what is natural, they don't, they prevent you from going out, dating. Dating is a normal thing, but they don't want you to date. And they claim, well, we don't want men and women to, um, get intimate, if you know what I mean. So get them married. Get them married. It sounds simple to me. Um, yeah, so then I'm reminded about what's on the monitor right now about Justin Bieber. I found, yeah, I haven't heard a lot about him, and then now I see a video, and I was just looking briefly at it. Excuse me. Does he have a handler? Is the person that significant other in his life, is that really a handler? I am shocked that they're bringing it up. And the video was entitled, that like something to the effect, maybe Kanye was right, because it was suggested that this person that he married, Justin, um, certain questionable things. And you start to wonder. So you have somebody who's placed in your life. You might have gone through a trauma and you thought you got away from this situation. But what happened, sorry, what seems to be happening, you're out of the pot, but they put you back in the fire in the form of a handler. Yes. Now I don't know about with Bieber. I never met him. I never met his wife. They just had a baby. Oh, oh wow, sorry. Yawning there. I apologize for that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just starting to watch the program, and I'm looking at Bieber right now. I mean, I put it on pause, but some of these people in Hollywood, um, they may have placed you with what's called a handler. A handler is someone, they're there to keep you in check. They're there actually to control you, to make you think that you're free, but it's just another means of control. And when you get out of line, they'll do something to put you in check. And someone suggested that this has happened to this young boy. Well, young boy, he's a man now. But I remember him when he was 16 or 17 years of age when I first learned of him. Just a young dude, young child, and had no idea that these horrors, alleged horrors, was done to him. Just early last year that I learned about this. And why I'm bringing this up, again, it's a system. Even though you have the faith-based system, well, isn't Hollywood also a man-made construct? It dictates how to think, how to dress, how to act, and then it exploits your biology. And they program you, especially women, with regard to looks. Oh, you need breast augmentations. Um, oh, you should get your hair done a certain way. Oh, you should move this type of way. But they do very little, I notice, with the men in Hollywood, to dress. It's really focused on woman. And if they see, and if by chance that this man, a particular man, is dressing very fancy, who is he really dressing for? And it's not a woman usually, it's another man. And, we all heard about over the past, what was that, 7 years, was it? I mean, it went so fast this past 7 years. Remember Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, was it Harvey Weinstein, I think his name? Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, I don't want to give the wrong name. Oh, what's his name? Is it Harvey Weinstein? Harvey, the guy in Hollywood that got arrested. Yeah, I went to the hearing. Harvey, yeah, yeah. And a lot of it is all an act. I sat in the back. I only went one day. And people, if you ever have the opportunity to sit in on a court case of that type of caliber, of that type of offense. Go look for yourself. And what do you get out of it? Yeah. Yeah, it's a system. And it's no different. Hollywood is a religion. Hollywood, is a religion. It has a faith, meaning it has a belief that if you do these things, act a certain way, you will be rewarded. What are you usually rewarded? Money, right? Um, Longevity with that money. Maybe even like worship. You're called a star. Okay, so they make you into a god because you are a movie star. A movie star, a star. The heavens. They're saying that you are equivalent to the heavens slash deity. So you could start making your own rules because everybody bows down to you. I used to briefly work in television. Yeah, I worked in so many different industries, people. Yeah, I worked in briefly in behind the scenes in uh, a TV studio. And it's all, I mean, man, uh, they go to such extremes. Everything you see is so um, by design, so crafted. You look at a studio, a studio where things are produced, it's made to look that way. And yet people argue amongst themselves how it's to look, even argue over a color, everything, every aspect. It is a religion, Hollywood. And you notice also that they seem to like to recruit children in like this particular company that seems to like to focus on little children. And it seems like everybody that comes out of that particular environment, they become victims. Uh, they become people who will like to unalive themselves or mutilate their bodies. They start to act out and act weird. And they too have handlers. Yeah, they got handlers. See how everything seems to repeat itself? The things are repeated. Even though on the surface it looks different because they might talk a different language, it's in a different country, but it's all a system, a man made system, and they all have faith in something that if they do something, that they'll be rewarded. Isn't these faith based systems all about reward and what to do to get a reward, to not be punished? Isn't it what it's all about? So, who else acts like a handler? Um, well, we know certain institutions like priests, right? Rabbis, and other people of the cloth. They all seem to act the same way. They're still real quiet. Uh, and then it seems like this exclusivity of access. Um, it's all about initiations. I visited so many churches in my life, and I think they are problematic. And there's these faith-based systems don't seem to correct when these weirdos infiltrate. Yeah, I told my pastor many, it was over 30 years ago. Yeah, somehow they get in these top positions. How did that happen? It could be male or female. Yeah, not just male, female also. It was a weirdo female, married she was, and uh, she was trying to be inappropriate with me. Yeah, they're in all types. I mean, they just seem to hide, and they just seem to be entrusted by these people. How is that? How is it? It doesn't matter what faith-based system. I'm not attacking one faith base. All of them seem to have the same characteristics. They put guilt on you, and they're all about your money too. And they don't seem to really be about people, but about supporting a system. Well, if the system is God, let God take care of itself. It seems like God needs you more than you need it. They don't want you to feel empowered. They want you to feel like a victim. And if you try to seek out higher understandings about life, oh, you are rebellious. So it's like a God that created you, and God can't seem to control you. Why is this? If you know, and why is this guy always saying that they're trying to save you from something? Isn't that like the mafia? The mafia says, "Oh, it's protection money." No, it's not. You're not being protected when you're in what do you call it? Organized crime, and they come on knocking on your door. Oh, we need to get money from you. Oh, it's to protect you. Isn't that the same thing? The people who they want to control you, they only get strong. I remember someone's just telling me they get stronger because you feed them. They get strong because you feed them. They use coercion. They use fear. And so, whether it's the organized crime, faith based system, or Holly Weird, they all seem to play the same game, but it's just they call it maybe something a little different. But in the end, it's about exploiting you. And the worst type of exploitation of control is SA. When you are SA'd, someone shared over the internet, again, I don't know whether it's true, but when someone goes through your back door of your anatomy, if you know what I mean, they said a virus is transferred into you. This virus of control enters your body, and that back door of your anatomy is set up, and it causes a traumatization in your brain. It short circuits your brain, and there might be hosts of these parasites that enter through your back door when you're being essayed. And it may be sending signals in your body to become a weirdo. And it is craving you to act that weird way. I mean, you've heard of like, yeah, that like it you have to starve it, but we keep feeding it, and they seem to feed off of our fear. They feed off of the type of movies that Hollywood makes, and it refeeds. And documentary on Afghanistan that I started out with this live stream, Afghanistan, and they attacked these young boys there. Um, they don't seem to be able to stop. It's the same thing that it's attacking them, and they can't. And it's not like they don't have a wife. Some of them, they have wives and children, and they decide to do it. Something is changing their short circuiting them and making them, in my opinion, behave that way, and they can't stop. Did you know, like, what they call oh, I think it's called candida. It's some type of, I think, a yeast or something. Um, you know what feeds on what this candida, what it feeds on? Sugar. Why you notice this system in these uh industrialized nations, especially US, why do they want to promote so much sugar in your diet? Is to feed those parasites, these like candida, and cancer too. Cancer is a parasite, and cancer is fed by sugar. You have a high starch diet, it turns into sugar in your body slash glucose. It feeds on it and feeds on it. And then when you stop eating all that sugar, then you get what you call like withdrawal symptoms. You're addicted to it and you get withdrawal symptoms. You get like irritable, you get headaches and all that. Yeah, it changes you and it's actually controlling you. And this is all over the industrialized world with its food. They are making you susceptible to all these, in my opinion, these perversions, because they're setting up the social environment through your diet to feed these parasites, these things that program the way you think, to make you act slash behave a certain way. Oh, they're also pushing the pharmaceuticals to make you act a certain way. They're attacking your children. They're putting your children on these chemicals. And I was watching the hearing, what's his name? JFK, I'm sorry, RFK Jr., who's running, who's um, being, he's, how do you say? Like he was appointed, but now he was appointed in a Trump administration, but they have to confirm it. Congress has to confirm him whether he's going to get it or not. And he's been interviewed, and he was being treated very harshly. And he pointed out about these kids that are being given these chemicals young in life, and it has hurt some of them and make them act out. Why? Because they're changing the natural order into a new system. And so if they can get rid of all those young kids or reprogram them to think a perverse way, hey, use your own to kill your own, right? Use your own to unalive your own. Yeah, it's a takeoff in the system. They're changing they uh perverting everything. They're turning everything upside down. And this is to control, to confuse, to alter your genetics, which alter the way you think and behave, and ultimately to be enslaved by this system. And why? Mm. It is horrible, people. It is horrible. I think they're all connected. Hollywood, organized religion. Um, they're setting us up for failure. Men against women, women against men, adults against children. What for? Yeah, money's not real either. Money is a artificial construct, like religion. They make you think that money is, you know, is real. Money is your slave. Money is the enslaver, excuse me. Money is your enslaver. It entraps you. Uh, it's not a natural system, and it's hurting people. Why these young boys in Afghanistan are doing what they're doing? Because they lack money, they lack resources. So they don't want to do what they're doing, but are being forced. And when they want to leave, they are unalived, many of them. It was absolutely shocking. Yeah, you in a Western country, in a Western religion, you expose what's going on, and you become a victim. People embarrass you, and I think it's horrible, horrible. Hollywood, Hollywood attacking these. Yeah, it's like now, they're really, it's like they want the women so-called what they call strong, right, independent. They're interested in in men. Hollywood is interested in men, and they're getting away with it, all for money. Yeah, money is the root of all types of evil. It entraps you. It makes you feel like a god, but ultimately, in the end, that it'll pull you down, and you become the new slave. Let us fight for personal freedom, freedom to live a healthy life, freedom to eat healthy food, freedom to have any, so I don't want to say belief, but to be at one with what created them. These are my thoughts. If a faith-based system benefits you to be a better person, um, go right ahead. But if you feel that you're being enslaved by your faith-based system, it might be an indication that it's time for you to go. Be sovereign over your life. And maybe somehow the world will turn around. Yes, stop the exploitation of children against women, against the weak in general. If you got a scratch, if you have an itch, go scratch it yourself. Stop having people scratch your itches. Scratch your own itches. So those are my thoughts. And again, it is not my desire to offend anybody's faith based system. You are entitled to believe and practice your religion. But just question yourself, who's really benefiting behind your religion, your faith based system? What do you really get out of it? This is something that's telling. So I thank you. Hey, laugh. I'm looking at you. You want me to rub your face? I hope his face not itching. Yeah, I have to maybe wash his eyes. Yeah, it's just my little fur baby right next to me. Okay, rub your little face. Yeah. So people are gonna continue watching this film. Start noticing correlation between these faith-based systems and Hollywood. And what do you see keep on popping up? And how people behave when they are exposed, when the evil is exposed. It's the same. Let's start. Protect the victim. Protect the victim. Expose what is evil. Okay. I thank you again. And I thank you also for your prayers for Lavender, my little fur baby. And I'm glad that I didn't bring him to for surgery today. And no, something it's not my job. I mean, it's not my position to force something upon him, especially if it could potentially hurt him. Uh, it may change the situation, and maybe he would be advisable for him to get a medical procedure because he isn't well. He has his good days and bad days. It goes up and down. But yes, please pray for him. Please pray for him. And pray for too. I need prayer. Yeah. And what prayers I need help in? Uh Getting focus. Um and be a better steer my life. You know. Yeah. I want to be more productive. That's what I want. I want to be more productive. Oh yes, today I did uh repotted some of my little seedlings. So I'm happy I did that. Yeah, I want to get more into nature, no, in planting. That is my desire. I want to learn how to, well, I use the word farming, but I mean to be able to plant edibles. That's what I want to do. I want to plant edibles and be able to eat it. Yeah, I want to be more productive with my life. Uh, so yeah, that's what you can pray for me for. So my life here needs to be recharged. But I thank you again for listening and watching. And again, my this live stream is not designed to offend, but for us to wake up and ask ourselves what's going on and how to stop it, and to notice patterns that keep on reoccurring. And I'm suggesting that these patterns have a common um, perpetrator, and they are infiltrating humanity all over the world. So I thank you again. So this is Spirit Journey, and I'm signing off. Peace, love, joy, power, and wellness be unto you. Until next time, see you.